self-love, self-acceptance with all of our good, bad parts that we all have, and the importance of stop judging ourselves and comparing ourselves with everybody else's life, with everybody else's business, the importance to tuning back into ourselves. And with that, let's get started in today's episode. So, how does your self-love reflect the life and business that you have, right? This was such a hard lesson for me to learn in business. It's insane. I cannot believe I'm going to be 39. It's going to be in September. It will be 9 years that I left the corporate office job in insurance to become a hairstylist, and all the beautiful things that it opened the doors up to because of my curiosity and willingness to accept my own reality of what I wanted for myself. And this episode is inspired really by, I really hope that it helps you if you're navigating right now a season of uncertainty or just, lack of man, I can't even trust myself to make a decision. What is next? It's not always about what's next. It's really important to be present in the moment where you're at right now. And so today's episode, I hope it brings you a glimpse of a smile and just a fun, just a real back into the journey of how we all get here and the constant relationship with ourselves and the constant evolution of learning how to love and accept ourselves as we evolve, because nobody stays the same. Being in a relationship with my husband for now, man, that's crazy. We've been married now for 11 years. We've been together for longer than that. And we are constantly changing and evolving. Our life has changed and evolved so much. And part of that has also been the importance of accepting one another, right? As we evolve and change. And I always am so curious with the relationship within ourselves, right? The most important relationship in our life is that within our own selves. What is our inner talk that nobody hears in our mind? Are we kinder to ourselves? Are we mean to ourselves? Do we push ourselves? And pushing past the boundaries to true self-worth and self-love is not allowing external sources like what's trending, what everybody else is doing, what everybody's life looks like or business looks like to determine the true self-love for ourselves. So first, let's talk about the business side. So self-love for me means boundaries. It means that I'm not a yes and people pleaser to everything. I love being kind. I love, listening to my clients and communicating with them. But there is boundaries to how much, right, we give and take in any type of relationship, especially in business. So, having clear boundaries. I am being honest with you. I only work 3 Sundays a year. Sunday's a very important day for me to reconnect with my family, and I want that. So Sundays, I only do three times a year. I already booked out 2 Sundays. There's only 1 more Sunday left, and that's it. And everything else will be a no for me because that time is really important to me. I know plenty of businesses that are open on Sundays, that are taking clients on Sundays, doing events on Sundays. It just doesn't fit my lifestyle. And that's part of my self-worth and self-love is saying, you know what, in my business, I'm going to choose boundaries. And that's one of my boundaries, right? So my question to you is, what boundaries do you have in your business to give yourself that time for self-love? Is it maybe you go in a little bit later? Is it maybe you get out a little bit earlier some days? What's your boundaries within self-love? And when we choose ourselves, something very interesting happens. We start questioning it, right? Because we're it's so easy. If your best friend needs you, if your child needs you, if your, little fur baby needs you, it's so different when somebody else needs us. But for some reason, we have such a hard time to be able to have those boundaries and that self-love for ourselves to be I need me and I need this time. I need these boundaries, right? So if you feel that way, don't worry. It took me a while to learn that. But the beautiful thing is that once we have boundaries and communication with our own self-love and that sprinkles into our business, people respect that. I've never had a bride or one of my clients tell me, you are horrible. I cannot get a hold of you. Or I don't like that I can only get a hold of you in this one way, right? It's always I appreciate that I know how to get a hold of you. I know when you're going to get back to me, right? And that's why I chose to do my business a certain way. And that's why I choose to communicate a certain way, because I need those boundaries for myself. So think about that in your own life for your business. Like, what works for you? Are you communicating very clearly what needs to be done so that you have that room and space for yourself? Another part of like self-love and finding your own self-worth is that I feel like it's a constant journey. It's like a constant relationship. Like, you're always constantly evolving on it. So don't judge yourself. If you're not there yet, like, it's okay. I did a post about how, like, when I got into this industry, right? Like, it's okay. Like, if you're being profitable and you're making money and it's fitting your lifestyle, like, who cares what everybody else is doing? I have friends that work 6 days a week and love it, and are late at the salon, and that's their life, and they love it. They're happy doing that. And, their lifestyle, like, accommodate this. I can't do that. Like, I remember, like, early on when I was as an assistant, I knew I didn't want that. I didn't want to be at the salon until midnight. There was so many things I didn't want to do. And I felt like I was broken and weird at the time because it wasn't a trendy thing. So that's why I was talking to you today about, like, the importance of self-love and self-worth in business, is that you have to be able to be strong enough to choose that. And I give you so much love and so many hugs right now and props if you are choosing your own path that really fits with you, to allow that room to say, like, you know what, I love myself enough that I'm not going to do X in my business, or I love myself enough that I'm going to put up, like, I don't work on certain days, or I get out at this time, and I'm going to be true to my word, right? And, like, there is the 4 Agreements. If you've never read that book, the 4 Agreements is an awesome book. And it talks about being true to your word, right? And I think it's so important, especially, like, when we're in business. And as we talk about Valentine's Day, it's so important start with the love within us, right? Because that radiates out. And part of that is also being able to be like, you know what? Like, I love myself enough that I'm going to keep my word to myself, right? So just think about that in your own business. Like, how are you showing up for yourself, with your own self-love? And what does that look like and feel like for you? It's so interesting how our life at home will reflect in business as well, right? Like, when it's chaotic and things. And I wanted today's episode, I want to open up my heart into this really hard time in my life. It happened 2 years ago, and I've thrown little glimpses here and there. It was really hard, okay? I didn't know how I was going to show up. I didn't know how the heck I was going to get through this personal hurdle of my life. It was a life-changing event. I won't be the same ever again, but I think after lots of therapy and taking time to really work on myself and heal myself, and, like, stop blaming myself and lowering my self-love part of it, I've been able to really flourish into this room of compassion, of knowing that nobody's perfect, of understanding that I cannot predict the future, of understanding that bad things happen to good people. And the only thing I do have control over is my attitude, right? It's how I respond to things. And that has been so comforting to me. So I know right now there's so much stuff going on right now with, like, I don't mean me, I mean, like, the world, I mean, like, just everything, right? It's also interesting right now with how things are shifting and where things are going. So I really want to invite you to give yourself that love and that compassion, that we all go through hard things in life. We may not talk about them really in depth. You don't have to share them with everybody. I didn't go into details with everybody. Like, people don't know what happened. Really, only really people close to me know. And that didn't make me fake. That didn't make it didn't make me like, oh my gosh, I lost my business. Oh my gosh, like, during that time when I was going through all the hard things and really taking the time truly to work on myself for my personal life purposes, it trickled into my business. And I really want to take a little bit of time to talk about that. When I started going to therapy, like, every week, so I was every week for like a year and a half. I would talk to my therapist every week. And I started like really taking the time to go meditate. And I have a beautiful, like best friend, Ricardo. Shout out to my best friend, Ricardo, because more than just a fun time, like we go travel together, we go to classes together and things like that. We also like are able to connect in a real beautiful spiritual way where we can like connect and, cry and heal and take time to meditate and all these beautiful practices. So many have learned little by little, not in a pushy way, but just by opening me up to the possibility of what meditation can do for me, right? And it's so beautiful when you don't need to have 20 friends. I don't have 20 friends. Shit, I don't even have 10 friends, okay? My group is very small. But you need to have friends there that are going to be there to support you. And when you do the work, it's beautiful. Like when I started doing therapy, when I started working on myself, when I stopped blaming, like, oh my gosh, the world's so hard, or, it's because of this situation, like everything sucks now from now on. When I started taking accountability for my life, that good people go through bad things, and how can I become stronger from this? How can I allow myself also time to grieve through this? Everything turned around. When the publishing started coming, that's when I started working with Pinterest. All the things really seriously started happening when I was literally in the background. My personal life was a mess. Without going into too much detail, I moved my family out of a place we were living into a new place in 3 days, okay? Trying to find an apartment and everything. It was insane, okay? But my life was falling apart, and I decided to get help, and I got, I started doing work and meditation and all this stuff that nobody knew was going on in the background for 2 years. Because I was working on myself, then my business has started to grow. Then the opportunities have started to come. Then I started to evolve, and systems have started to be put in place. And I'm not perfect. There's still so much growth and so many things I need to improve on. But that's the moral of today's episode, is that when we love ourselves, when our life gets back into alignment, doesn't mean it's perfect, okay? Like it just goes back into alignment where we have like, okay, I feel like we're in a good space. I'm in a good space. I'm working on myself and also loving my imperfect parts and understanding what triggers me, understanding how to like deal with that in a way that's healthy, right? All these different things. My business grew and things started to flourish. And part of our self-love journey in life is also going to trickle into business. So that's why I think it's so important that with self-love and finding our self-worth, we do the work. Going to therapy is not easy. Doing the work is not the easiest thing to do, but it can be such a beautiful big blessing. So I wanted you to welcome into that space of self-love and self-worth. And also with the part of self-love and self-worth is, let's be real about it, and how this trickles into business too, is loss, okay? In life, there is duality. Nothing is always happy all the time or sucky all the time. We go through like little ebbs and flows, right? Kind of like little waves in the ocean. And I think it's so important that we really like get real with ourselves. And I really want to talk about this in today's episode, that also self-love and finding our own self-worth is going to require for us to leave things behind. So the loss part of it, right? For me and my business, like the reality sinking in of what had happened with my health, right? For example, for my hand, I had to let go of blonding full time, and it broke my heart. That's the truth. It broke my heart. It was hella hard to get over that because I had put so much of my self-worth in what I did in my work. I'm so happy that I went through that hard period, because now I am in a space where like I love what I do. I love being part of Bright's Days. I love being a part of something so special. But I know if something changes or evolves in my life, my worth is not solely based on what I do for work. I love what I do. I will always give it 150%. I give it my all. But if that changes and evolves, I'm okay with that. Like I know that there's more worth to me than just what I do, just how much money I make, how many clients I have, what people say about me or don't say about me or my business. Like this has to do so much more and deeper with me, right? We need to have, for self-worth and self-love, I'm just sharing my experience. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong, and take what resonates with you. We need to be so careful in putting all of we're only self-worthy if our business is thriving, like the world says it should thrive, or we're only, we are loving ourselves if all of our clients are, like if everybody wants to be our client. Let's be real. Like, not everybody likes Nikes. Not everybody likes Birkenstocks. Not everybody likes, Adidas, right? Like each brand has their own, target people, like their own target clientele, their ideal clients, right? And the same thing goes with our business and with us. So I think it's so important. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I'm all about analytics, okay? Like, I love looking at analytics. Like, I love to know how much, the lifetime value of my clients, how much what's the average spending power of each of my clients in my business. I love to know retention. I love to know like booking rate, like, how many inquiries I'm getting, how many am I booking a month. All that stuff for me is really sexy because once I know my numbers, I know what I can make better and grow, and what, versus like just guessing game, right? If you look at your numbers, you're able to see what's working and what's not. So having said that, like, it's so important that we understand as humans that our value goes beyond what we do for work, beyond what we live. And, like for me, my self-worth, I think things are changing. I've heard about this. I've been hearing about it more. People, for some reason, they say, okay, they make a general like statement about this, but I'm sharing it with you. They say that people that go through the midlife, like the 40-year-old, like I'm getting there. Okay, next year I'll be 40. I'm gonna be 39. They go through like this midlife shift where things change, right? And I think it's so true. Maybe it is because like most people are like, okay, if you're lucky, you live till 80 or 100, whatever. I'm like, but it just, for me, has been so much life experience of what truly matters. Like last night, I wasn't feeling so well, and my son's like, "Are you okay, mommy?" My daughter's like, "Are you okay, mommy? I want to give you a hug. I miss you, kisses." And like I was in my room by myself, just trying to lay down and feel better, and it was so cute. Like, I love that. Like that, I'm like, this is what life's about, And having actually accomplished one of my life goals that thought it was going to make me worthy and make all my problems go away. Like, because society says that you made it when you do this one thing, which is like buy a house, right? If you buy a house, you got it, girl. Like, you are set. And I've learned that that's so much BS. Like, there is no, like, you've got it, you're set, you're golden for life. Like, the more we achieve, if we think that's all that matters, then we want what's next, right? There's never this fulfillment part. And for me, now that I have a home, it's more like, okay, we did this, and I realized that I am so grateful for my dreams. I'm so grateful for so many dreams and things that I've accomplished that I never imagined my whole life I would do. But I do not value myself based on the things I have. So my house, the accolades, all the stuff I have, like, sure, do I mention it for business? I do. It's important that you mention what you do so people know, like, what makes you different, right, in business. But if nothing else happens, like, I wouldn't be like, oh, I suck now, I'm not worthy, or I'm not trending anymore, or nobody likes me anymore. Like, things change and evolve. And I think it's so important that in business, like, we really have that love for ourselves to understand you get to change and evolve, okay? So let's start as a colorist, blonding brunette specialist, and now Celeste doing bridal, okay? I'm not misjudging myself because my hand can't do it. I'm not like, Celeste, you suck, I'm a loser. I was at that point. I'm at the point now where, like, okay, I get to do what I love, and however long it may be, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to love it. And when I have to change and evolve in life, I'm going to love that part of me too. So if you're single, let's talk about like Valentine's Day, okay? So my husband and I, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day because like we are pretty much like life has happened with us, and just seeing how our grown-up people grew up, we don't believe in the whole thing Valentine's Day. We believe that we love each other. We're going to be respectful and loving to each other 365 days a year, okay? Yes, some days he drives me crazy. Some days I drive him crazy. Sometimes we need to do timeout corners. But we're respectful of each other, and that's true love for us, as long as we are understanding of what our boundaries are, what, like, and the importance of independence and what love really means for us. Like, we're cool with that. Like, we both know what we need from each other, and that's important to us. That's love. But for Valentine's Day, like, I remember, like, oh my gosh, like, I would see all the flowers and all the cool stuff everybody does for their loved one, which I think is so cute and sweet. But today, you're not going to see that on my feed. I'm not going to be posting a picture of him and I'm not going to be posting all the cute stuff he did for me. Like, no, like, I was like, hey, you want a coffee this morning? I'm like, yeah, I would love a coffee. So he went to a drive-thru and got me a coffee. It was so nice. And he's like, hey, you want to go out to lunch? I'm like, sure, let's go out to lunch. So it's nothing crazy. It's things that we usually do if we have the time and our schedules align, which they did today. But I'm not going to be posting about none of that stuff because it's more than that, right? And I want to share with all of you who, if you're single or things look different for you this year, that's the beauty of loving yourself and having a relationship with ourselves. The more we get comfortable with that, the more that we're able to grow and evolve and be happy for others. I'm happy. If you celebrate Valentine's Day, you go. Like, it makes you happy. It brings you joy. I'm so happy for you. It's just not in my radar, right? And I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel pressure about it. I don't have to be mean and be like, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Forget that holiday. Not like that. I'm just very neutral about it. And part of our self-love is that neutrality. Is understanding that just like there's good, there's also like the not so good parts of ourselves that make us who we are. If the whole world, if everybody was the same, it would be so boring. If everybody had the exact same business model, yes, we have to be profitable, of course. But I mean, like, we ran our business exactly cookie cutter, the same, nothing different. That would be so freaking boring. The world would be so boring. So I'm so glad that you are who you are. I'm so glad that although there's days where we stumble and we're like, do I even know what I'm doing? If there's days where you're like, man, I just not feeling myself today, or I feel off. It's part of being human. Part of self-love is that it's not a whole high, only one monotone ride, right? A ride through self-love, it ebbs and flows. It goes high, it goes medium, it goes low. We pick ourselves up. And that's the beauty of the evolution of learning to love ourselves, because the most important relationship that you will ever have in your life is with yourself. No amount of things or what anybody says or therapists or anybody guides can help us get to that journey of learning to love and accept ourselves and learning to love and find that worth within ourselves, right? Because that has been one of my hardest life lessons for myself, is that I had to release the validation of being worthy and lovable from others. I had to first find that within myself, and everything in my life changed after that. And when things get hard, like it did like a couple years ago, I had to reevaluate my life, and I had to like also learn to refine that within myself. Learn, how can I love myself again and not blame myself? How can I find myself as a lovable person again? How can I change and evolve from this life thing that happened, right? So anyways, love, it's a beautiful thing. Remember, the best relationship and the strongest relationship you have is with yourself. We cannot escape ourselves. So sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing day. And I will see you back here next week. Bye, love.